Greetings and welcome to this episode of Remember Me. Copyright 2023, Kat Morgan, all rights reserved. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss the next episode. Now let's see. Where were we? Yes. Episode 3. The Lens. I am dreaming? Back in the white room, that's what I started calling this dream space. Once more, I seem to have again arrived before she who knows. Feeling a bit like an expert at this point, I inhaled and closed my eyes, then exhaled slowly and dropped my shoulders, bending my knees and sitting down to await her appearance. Opening my eyes, I saw her there, seated across from me. I smiled. She smiled. Between us was a small, round, wooden box, about 1.5 feet or so in diameter and about half that in height. It looked like an old hat box, and it appeared to be made of a single piece of dark-colored wood, unvarnished but finished to a smooth, gleaming surface. She lifted the top, which formed a lid, turning it over and setting it on the floor beside the box. Inside the box appeared to be a smaller cylindrical wooden object nestled in a padded compartment, maybe 8 inches in length and 2 to 3 inches in diameter. I felt my eyebrows crease. I'd never seen anything like it before. It looked like something like a very short telescope with a gray-brown round eyepiece connecting to a cylinder made of 2 obviously different sections of wood. I watched her curiously as she gently removed it from the case, letting me see it as it rested in her hands for a moment before she offered the object to me. I felt my hands reach for the device without conscious thought. I felt no fear or hesitation at all. Through this strange encounter, although at some point in my consciousness I recognized how singularly unique this situation was. Being a somewhat expert on various types of rocks and crystals, I thought I recognized the eyepiece as a black tourmaline, cut in a donut shape to form a circle with a hollow center. I raised my eyes to her with that thought, and she dipped her head once, in silent approval. Returning my gaze to the device, I could see what looked like a quartz crystal point nestled within the tourmaline's center. Feeling my eyebrow twitch, I looked carefully at the wooden section the tourmaline was joined to. It was a perfectly smooth cylinder, approximately 2 inches long, and I guessed it was hollow inside to hold the quartz crystal, which meant the crystal was about 2 inches long and about 1 inch thick. That's a 1:2 ratio. Interesting, I thought. There appeared to be some kind of spacer between the first and second sections, with a small raised lip. It seemed perfect for getting a fingertip hold of, so I tried that. The piece slid out easily, a small black frame that held 2 pieces of glass, maybe a couple inches square. It looked like the lip had an opening where the glass pieces could be inserted and removed, so I tipped the frame over and watched as 2 thin, clear pieces of what felt like glass slid out a bit, making it easy to remove the rest of the way. It reminded me of the science kit I had when I was little, with the small clear glass slides you put a specimen on before placing under the microscope. These were just bigger and square. I blinked and raised my head, genuinely puzzled now and not wanting to worry about whether I woke up or not. This was getting weird. She smiled at my confusion and raised one hand in a just hold on a moment gesture. I heard her say, "This is the lens." She nodded to the device. I nodded my understanding. Black tourmaline for the thigh piece to set a focus that is balanced and based on the root chakra, joining left and right brain functions. Thigh piece, I thought? The piece for the third eye to be directed through, was her reply. She continued without pause. A clear quartz double-point crystal concentrates the energy being directed through the thigh piece, with 1 point held within the tourmaline center. The thigh piece is mounted to a 2-inch section of U, hollowed out to firmly hold the quartz crystal generator. U provides the energy of regeneration. The slides, as you call them, are indeed very similar to your science kit, and as you see, they are held in a black bracket. which forms the frame for the two clear glass sides. This allows a microscopically thin specimen to be mounted and placed within the lens. When a specimen is mounted and inserted, one side of the slide touches and makes a connection with the crystal point. The last section of the cylinder is ash, which provides strength and accuracy. At one end of the ash cylinder section is a reading glass lens with a 3.5 magnification. She glanced to make sure that I was still with her. I nodded slightly and returned my gaze to the lens. At the other end of the ash cylinder is an 8-time magnification lens, most commonly used in archery scopes. I tilted the end of the lens and could clearly see a glass lens at the terminating end. I returned the lens to rest in both my hands and lifted my eyes to her. In my mind's eye, I saw each piece as she had described it. She met my gaze calmly, but didn't make any other gestures. I didn't hear any thoughts from her. I looked again at the lens, feeling like I was missing something here. You obviously couldn't actually look through the device, having a quartz crystal blocking whatever might be seen through the tourmaline in the interior lens is pretty effectively guaranteed that. So why call it the lens? And what did it do? What was its purpose? Which immediately reminded me of the start of this conversation. I had asked why I was here, and she had answered that I was here to find my purpose. Okay, copy that. So now what? She asked, is hindsight always 20/20? I replied, that's what they say, with a mental shrug, unsure where this was leading. If hindsight is 20/20, what is foresight? I don't know. What kind of question is that anyways? I could feel her amusement with my thought process. You use your foresight when you get your inspirations or divine downloads, as you call them. Foresight, divination, prophecy, and related skills are all just aspects of your true vision. My third eye. Indeed. She held my gaze for a long moment. There is an evil in the world. In your world. Here, where you are, currently. It needs to be stopped. The lens can show this, with your help. My bewilderment must have been apparent because she leaned forward intently and continued. Holding the thigh piece to your third eye, the lens will project an image of the memory held within the specimen between the slides onto the lid of the box. I thought I understood what she was saying, but I was losing focus of the conversation. I could feel the dream slipping out of my control and decided to let it go. I woke up with another migraine. It was Monday morning, the start of a new work week. Hooray, whatever the hell that was all about. I half fell out of bed and felt my way along the hallway to the bathroom for an urgent call of nature, snagging the bottle of Motrin out of the medicine cabinet to down 4 tablets with saliva while I peed and listened to the pounding of my head, willing the drugs to stay down as I fought a bout of nausea. Lovely.